Yo guys, what's up? This is Aaron Crawford, aka Blind Man, and I wanted to try something different with you guys tonight. I'm trying to figure out what you guys would like to hear from me, because honestly I don't have a whole lot of subscribers or viewers right now, so please, if there's something you like, make sure to share it with your friends, your family, get them to like it and subscribe it as well, and if they like it, and if not, then show them something else, and that way I can start getting more subscribers to my channel, because I want to do more for you guys. I really do. So please make sure, if you like this video, to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you haven't subscribed already, that is, and make sure to leave your comments below if this is something you want to hear more of. Let me know. Otherwise, let me know what you want to hear, so that way I can get my stuff out there so people can see and hear it. Because your guys' opinion really does matter to me, because honestly, I'm here for you guys. I'm here to inspire and inform you guys as best as I can. So, that being said, let's move on. I gotta keep this within a 15-minute time period, because honestly, I don't know how to work YouTube very well yet. Yes, I'm admitting to not knowing something. How wonderful is that? I'm not perfect, you know? Anyway, so, tonight what I wanted to try to do was a book review, actually. I know there's so many of these out there already, but I figured maybe hearing it from the point of a blind person might help enlighten you guys and make things a little different. Because, you know, as a blind person, I do listen to books, and I enjoy them, while visually impaired. Not fully blind. Unfortunately for me, I'm very grateful for the blessings that I've been given. And one of the book series I like to read is called Anita Blake, Vampire Executioner, or Vampire Hunter, excuse me. Now, I will say these books do become extremely detailed in the romantic department. So if you are one of those hard Christians who believes that even reading something like that would be against your religion, then I wouldn't recommend it. But I will say that there is a lot of Christianity references in this series. And I think that's really cool. Now, it may not exactly be along the lines of your religion, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody has their different opinions and beliefs as far as religion is concerned. And there's nothing wrong with that, by any means. You know, I respect all forms of religion, and hopefully this book series will kind of enlighten you in some areas of your religion that you didn't want enlightened, or maybe you did, I don't know. But it touches on all forms of the supernatural, including demons, devils, and other forms of supernatural creatures. Its primary focus, though, is on that of vampires and of lycanthropes, as it follows the tales of a young necromancer slash, vampire executioner slash vampire human servant. Now, of course, she doesn't start out being a vampire human servant, though it does happen within the first book. She later finds a way to be able to break that hold from the master of the city of St. Louis, whose name is Jean-Claude. And like most American ideals, the vampires and lycanthropes and other forms of supernatural come from many different corners of the world, different cultures, and I think that's really cool to be able to mix different cultures into a book series like this. And the latest book, she even travels to Ireland, of all places, and it is so cool to kind of see how this book series twists and turns. There are some things that I personally would like to know, as in one of the books called Blue Moon, we get to see firsthand that demons do take a huge role in this series, as a demon is released into the Society of America. My biggest question on that is, so far we haven't heard anything, because that demon does get to go free into the world. And I'm trying not to spoil too much for you guys, so if you guys are watching the series, you haven't read the books yet, that is kind of a spoiler alert. I apologize. I'm doing my best not to throw too many spoilers in. But what I want to know is, do we hear of that demon again? Also along the way, Anita is infected with many different forms of lycanthropy, which is really neat. To see that what she becomes is what they call a panware. And another question that is left unanswered that I really hope that she will answer in the next couple of books is, does Anita shift? And if she does, which animal form will she take on first? These are all interesting questions that I'd like to see answered. And although they're not yet, I feel like this series can take a whole new turn and twist. But before I go any further, I want to give a huge thumbs up, if you can see that, I hope, to the author, Laurell K Hamilton. She does such a great job with this series. So much detail, and not just in the romantic aspects of the series, but in every aspect. The crime scenes, the details of her surroundings, what different characters are wearing. I will say the hardest fact to keep up with is how many different side characters are in the series. Now, that's not to say that there's so many of them that you can't follow the storyline, but because a lot of the focus remains on 4 main characters, and those 4 mains are Jean-Claude, Richard Zeman, who is the werewolf pack leader of that particular werewolf pack in St. Louis, Nathaniel, who is a were-leopard, and Micah, who is the were-leopard Nemo Raj, which is to say he is the king were-leopard for that particular pard, which is what they call themselves. And as the books continue, first off, let me point this out. This series is a horror/romance, paranormal romance, /mystery series. Now, I know that's not what they place on the book jacket. That's their thing. Me, personally, that's how I feel. Because this book series has so much to offer. I really hope I'm following within the time limits here. I'm going to try to wrap it up pretty soon. But basically, it offers comedy, romance, horror, suspense, drama, mystery. All this is wrapped into one series, and they don't necessarily override one another, as it is that each one has its own separate point to each book. And what I mean by that is that in one book you can have all of that, but one part of the book could be based around solely the mystery of the book, the crime that is going on, and then say a few chapters later you get that drama thrown in to a point where it's almost infuriating drama, and then a couple chapters after that you may get a little bit of suspense. What's going to happen next? And it one thing after another leads into this amazing story. And one of the coolest things about her is the detail, because the detail is so well done that it sucks you into the series even further. Makes you a part of that world to a point where you could simply imagine this. This is one series I would love to see Netflix do as a TV series, and hopefully, I really hope Laurell K, if you end up watching this, I really hope you get to, please, throw this out to Netflix. I know your series is not done yet, but as you come out with more books and can involve that series, I think that would make it an amazing TV series. It's definitely one I would watch for sure. But like I said, there's a lot of romantic detail, not necessarily in the first few books. I think the first time we see any hint of that shows itself in the Lunatic Cafe. And then you see it's all the way up to book 9, which is the one I'm reading now, known as Obsidian Butterfly. Because between those books, a lot of stuff happens that causes Anita Blake to doubt her relationship status. A lot of secrets were kept, and in turn, it caused her to pull away from her romantic detail, her romantic involvement, I should say. And then in book 9, Obsidian Butterfly, we start to see just a few hints at what she's going through because she did that. And so it actually legitimately ends up tying in to what happens. As her power grows, she becomes to get more and more abilities. Some extremely helpful. Others not so much. In fact, some, you could say, could actually hinder her in the wrong situation to a point where it could cause her to be distracted from her goals. And that is so cool, because not only are you getting to see this badass heroine, excuse my language, but that's what she is. She is legitimately a badass heroine. But you're also getting to see that she's human, because there are those little character flaws. And so many books, they try to bring the hero or the heroine above that. They're supposed to be better than that because of the fact of who they are. And the fact that if that character is not perfect, nobody's going to read it. But I guarantee you, this series is ranked in the highest formats because it's up there with some of the greatest novelists because of the detail and how it sucks you in. J.K. Rowling, J.R. Tolkien, even the author of the Percy Jackson series. Though Percy Jackson sucks you into a whole different world. Though you do get to see a lot of mythology references in this series. And these are just a few of the series that I can think of. And the difference between Anita Blake series and some of these other series, Percy Jackson not so much, but like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, you can read them a few times. But after those few times, they become monotonous, they become boring. Whereas with the Anita Blake series, you want to go back and read it just to make sure you didn't miss something. Was there a clue, a hint that could have led to what happened next? Was this particular issue legitimately meant to be in there for the story? So, my last point before I go ahead and give this my rating, this series my rating, is, if you prefer to skip over the more romantic, detailed scenes, you could. I'm not saying you can't. However, I will say that you are missing some viable information. You'll go to read the next chapter or the next, sentence in the series, in that particular chapter, after all the detail, and you're going, wait a minute, what did I miss? Because of the fact that you skipped over it. Now, that's not to say that you can't figure it out as it goes on, because the one thing about the Anita Blake series is that if you miss something, it gives enough detail to the previous books, previous chapters, that you're more informed than with most series if you were to come into the middle of them, like the Harry Potter series. The Harry Potter series will go over a little bit of what was needed to be said from previous books, but you were still kind of lost. With this series, not so much. It just makes you want to go back and reread, or go back and read the book before it to go, okay, I understand what she's saying, but what did I miss? What is so important in this book prior to this? And then you just want to go and be like, okay, I gotta read this from the first book because of how good of a series it is and how much it draws you in. So, with that being said, I give this a 5 out of 5 rating. I don't want to do stars or, numbers or whatever, but yeah, it's definitely a 5 out of 5 rating. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Leave your comments below. And this has been Blind Man, signing off. Shutter.